enter desire, leave trauma behind. This is Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and on today's video, leaving a trauma behind and really entering your desired dream life, shifting into that perspective, shifting into the knowing that I am exactly who I say I am, and nothing I remember myself to be or have experienced will ever hold me back from knowing myself as awareness. Now, there was a question that one of the subscribers put forward, which was they had from their own words, semi-traumatic year in 2025. Some highly unpleasant things happened. What do I do? How do I handle this? Doing something with it, a three-dimensional version of you that wants to fiddle with past versions of itself it has nothing to do with. Do you revise the memories to happy things, nice things, preferred things? You can. Or do you just decide on a new timeline as if it has nothing to do with that previous version of yourself? How do you shake these things off? That was the question, and we're going to go through it quite fully. There's also a secondary follow-up question from the same person in a different experience, which was, how do you manifest said lottery with all of these problems that you do have, because it would fix the experiencing of them? Now, we're going to really unpack this entire thing step by step of what's going on with the question, what's going on with the reality, and how to shift into this knowing that you do actually have everything. Trauma experience. It is only ever happening now. Do nothing. Do nothing with it. It does nothing. It does nothing. It literally does nothing. No matter how many traumatic experiences you have, and trust me, you have quite a few, even if the ones you don't even remember happening, you can sit and contemplate it all day long and you'll come up with something else. Other than deny its power over you. See, you are I am awareness. And as that awareness, you are aware of a version of you in this now moment that exists in and as that experience of reality. It's not you. You are consciousness. You are awareness. You have a version of yourself. It would be a library complaining about certain books that have stories it doesn't like. It just has them. You are the one that decides whether to read the thing or not, whether to remember the thing or not. You can't throw it out the library. You are awareness. You are infinity. There's only you. So if you're throwing it out of the library, out of your awareness, it's still more awareness where you are just consciously, continuously focusing on that version of yourself. But it never was. It's a character in a movie. And you are all the movies combined. You are all the books. You are all the stories. You are all the scripts. You are all the affirmations. You are everything. Does it feel good when you contemplate it? No, it's not supposed to. But you recognize that each time you feel it, you're only feeling an idea you no longer choose and no longer identify with. It ultimately means nothing. It's another version of the same idea. It's not even the same one. No matter how many times you believe you have experienced the same thought and memory coming up out of yourself, it's new, it's brand new, it's fresh, it's brand new, it is fresh. Reality is way too infinite to repeat itself. It doesn't need to. It's repeating the idea, but it's a new version of that idea. You don't need to shift out of it. You were never in it. Those realities are happening within you. They're all happening within you. When you recognize it's all happening within me, I don't have to do anything with it. Because one, I can't. And two, I don't need to. You set it up beautifully and perfectly where you don't have to do anything with it, and you never did. You shift your focus consciously into and as that preferred version of yourself. Do nothing with the thoughts, with the emotions, or even the memories other than integrating it within the completeness of all that you are as infinity, because it just is. So decide. Who are you? And in that decision, in living in that decision, in that end, live in that end regardless of anything that pops up, because it's just you anyway. Because those are versions of reality that you no longer choose to contemplate as real for you. And the thing is, it is quite literally and has quite literally nothing to do with you. It's just another timeline of experience. It has nothing to do with any other timeline of experiences because they're all happening simultaneously anyhow. You are experiencing everything simultaneously happening within you. You are infinity. As infinity, do you think that you would have no thoughts about any other timeline, no thoughts about any other life that you have lived? No. You'd have so many that it would arguably be the experiencing of, I probably should have more, but you are filtering out who you are in this now moment. So shaking it off is not actually a requirement. Where would it go? Because it's not attached to you and there's nowhere for it to go. It's one with you. That's why you don't ever have to be attached to something and you can't let go of something anyway. Because it's just you. It's just you. A library could not let go of one of its books and doesn't have to be attached to it. It just belongs there. It belongs within you as awareness. See, when you recognize that you are infinity, that all the timelines exist in this moment of now, you imagine, assume, and walk in the assumption that no matter what happens, I am who I am. And here's this idea. There's a great awareness. That great awareness, seemingly, from every one of our perspectives, has shifted itself and made itself forget that it is not who it thinks it is. Consciousness not realizing it is infinity. Realizing it is infinity by being conscious, by being still and knowing that it is God. The more still you are, the more you recognize what you are contemplating yourself as is your reality. That stillness is not a requirement, but it does help in you recognizing what you are being is what you are experiencing. It doesn't necessarily mean what you are experiencing in the 3D is the only thing you are experiencing. As awareness, what you are being as awareness is what you are experiencing as that awareness. And that's those seemingly separate I am experiences that everyone has. It's all one I am that has infinite reality experiences within it. And each one of those infinite reality experiences within it has another version of a physical you and a physical everyone else that is also a point of consciousness for that same awareness, remembering itself as that great I am awareness. The Father. So that physical version of you who is poor, stays in poverty. Why? Because it never contemplated itself as anything else. It just stays in that awareness. It stays in that timeline. It doesn't go anywhere from it. Another version of you, because you are consciousness, contemplating itself, that knows its consciousness, knows its infinite timeliness, is also you. So when you move to that and you recognize yourself, and this 3D version of you also recognizes yourself in this one moment, you have recognized yourself as that awareness that has infinite timelines, and whatever you are being, whatever you are experiencing is your reality right now. And they followed up this question with asking something that they believe is a cliched question, so they asked for some forgiveness here, regarding winning the lottery. How can I be 100% certain to manifest the lotto win? Since I could use the money, how to manifest the win by summertime? If all possibilities exist, all this should be doable, so please guide in how to win that jackpot of at least $4 million. Good question, but recognition would help understanding. It's not a cliched question. Why is that? A cliched question is something that is typical, and nothing is typical of reality. Because each time, if everything actually exists now, then it can't be a cliched question. Everything exists now, so it must be a brand new question. Because each time you're experiencing reality, each moment of reality, it's a new perspective on everything that is I am awareness, as everything. Because it is a never before experienced, new in awareness, not in being, that must exist now alongside everything else. Alongside everything else. If everything exists alongside, superimposed, as a better idea, superimposed onto itself as one idea, then there's no timeline. There's no timeline, there's only oneness. There's no timeline, there's only oneness. So each time you ask the question, each time you affirm I am, each time you imagine something, you're doing it brand new as you. So the forgiving yourself part is actually 70 times 7, which is forgiving yourself to completion. But forgiving what? Because none is required from me to you. The only thing you ever need to forgive yourself for is believing something other than I am. From your perspective, right? I know you I am. So you are asking the same question found in the Bible. How can we increase our faith? And Jesus responded, if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it will obey. Matthew 17:20. You already have perfect faith, perfect knowing that I am perfect as reality, not the 3D self. My faith is in recognition of that, making that the priority, that I am everything I desire to be already. And just a little play on words here on the word obey, because reality always obeys what you are being. We have a word in Zulu here called yebo, which is Y-E-B-O, which is yes. So I like to play on words here as reality, which is reality always says yes to me, because if you reverse the word, it's yes. So backwards and forward, it means yes, reality will be exactly what you will be, just as a South African play on words there, which I find quite fun. Secondly, desire is not something that fixes things in the sense of I can use the money by this time, because it is not true. This isn't to say that the experience of the money, in this case $4 million, is not there. It has to be there. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be able to be aware of it. But that isn't what you are asking for. You are combining two different versions of reality, trying to experience them as one, where I am poverty and I need money and I have the money and I want the money. You cannot be wealth asking from poverty to be wealthy. Even if the three-dimensional story is poverty to wealthy, that poverty version of them was never being poverty, it was being wealthy. That's why you can move from wealthy to poverty, because the wealthy version of them was not being wealthy, it was being poverty. So they end up losing the money. Those experiences are all there, but it depends on what they are being, not what they are trying to get to or avoid. Because you think, and as a three-dimensional story, yeah, we do think, because it would be nice. It would be nice if these problems went away. We think like that. But God does not care about what you want. It feels like He does. It feels like they do. It feels like she does. However you want to express that. It feels like God does care, because usually we end up at rock bottom and finally something moves. But that's just because you gave up the belief in that idea and you gave it upwards to your higher self. And yeah, we do believe that it could be helpful. God does not care. God gave you everything freely. He doesn't need to care. God is giving you freely what you are being. Why would God hold something back from you? Why would God make you just to break you? Right? You are giving yourself whatever freely you desire. We give ourselves freely circumstances and conditions. We give ourselves freely trauma. We give ourselves freely the experience over and over again. Fix me. You are being and saying, my 3D self is unfulfilled in this now moment. I need to fix that situation I am referring to, and the lottery win would solve that. You see, we give ourselves problems, and then we give ourselves how to solve those problems so freely, instead of just giving ourselves freedom to be whatever it is we want to be, whatever it is we are already being. This version of myself who is standing here in my dream life with all the money in the world. Whatever bills I have, yeah, I always pay them. Whatever thing I want to do, I always do it. Whatever thing I feel like doing in this now moment, I am free to actually experience myself doing it, because that is who I am right now. That's who you are. That is already who you are. You don't have to do something to fix something to be something. It's already who you are. So does this make sense? If you recognize yourself as God, you will also recognize that the issues you are requiring the money for do not exist outside of awareness. God is them too. You keep the circumstances around trying to fix them. They exist only as an experience that the physical you cannot run away from. They exist as a one-to-one reflection. You are the reflector. The same reality experience from that viewpoint. You contain the physical self and the physical circumstances that go along with it. It is immovable. This physical projected version of yourself right now, it's immovable and it is unchangeable. It stays just like that. And here's the thing, in this now moment, it's another version, also immovable and unchangeable. And again, it's another version of yourself, immovable and unchangeable. You are transversing, whatever, over reality experiences right now. Your body may look the same, your reality may look the same, but it is, and no matter how microscopic the change is, it is a different version. Even the idea of by the summertime is arbitrary to God. The deadline doesn't exist because you are creating a version of reality where there is a deadline, where something must happen, but the deadline implies the deadline can be overshot. So you're creating the idea of missing and having and experiencing by deadlines. But God doesn't work with deadlines. God just works with who you are being. And if you're creating deadlines, it means you live by them. God is the summertime and the physical millionaire version of you experiencing it in this now moment. It's all you experiencing it, being it. Not hoping by the next one coming, which is also within you, that this happens, but experienceable now, regardless of whether it is happening or not, in the next summertime or not. If you imagine yourself in the summertime as this millionaire version of yourself, relaxing and enjoying it. That's what you want. I am this version of myself, relaxing and enjoying my summertime as I desire. But when you imagine it, when you are imagining this idea, who's being the sand? Who's being the water? Who's being the sun? Who's being the summertime? You. It's your own imagination being it. You are just projected in your physical form, experiencing what the physical form is not being. So you can experience what everything else is being via the physical form. Because nothing else is experiencing you other than other physical forms in that same reality that all exists now. It is who you are, so it must be unfolding regardless of what you experience moment by moment, because it's always changing. And here's this idea. The lottery would fix this. And reality says, yes, this problem that we have would be fixed by the lottery. Would be fixed by the lottery. This problem, subject, would be fixed by the lottery, the want, the desire, the version of you who experiences having all the money that they desire to have, but we have come up with a solution on how to get that money. That's typically what the lottery win is about, the manifestation of that. I want money in this way to fix a problem, and this is the simplest way for me to do it, the least amount of effort. I am telling God how to do it. But that entire thing is you experiencing that. That's what's unfolding. You trying to explain to God, you trying to fix a problem, you believing in the problem. Your belief in the problem is more focused than what you desire to be experiencing. Your belief in a problem manifests the experiencing continuously of said problem. So go to the end of whatever you desire to be experiencing, not trying to fix, because what you are focused on is what your reality is. You are focused on having a problem that requires a solution. It doesn't manifest a solution, it requires the problem perpetuating. So, there is no guide on how to win the jackpot. This is the point. Your physical self cannot do anything, nor can anyone's. It is recognition that your desired end is livable by you now. But you are not living in a reality, experiencing what you want to experience. You are still that crippled man sitting by the pool of Bethesda, waiting for a win so your life can be better. If you Google that scene from The Chosen, the man at the pool of Bethesda, you'll see what I mean. Basically, a man sitting by the pool of Bethesda, waiting because he can't get up and get into the pool, waiting for someone to carry him, or waiting for someone to move out the way so he can get there, but he can't. I think he was there for like 20 odd years or something like that, until Jesus came and asked him, "What are you doing? Do you want to be healed?" And he finally says yes. After like 7 or 8 times he asks this question to him, he finally says yes. Then Jesus heals him, and he gets up, not requiring the pool, because the pool was to get to a healed self instead of just him being the healed self. That's the metaphysical idea. If all possibilities exist. If all possibilities exist, why would you bother with the lottery trying to fix the problem? Why not just go and be the solution of everything you desire? Because that's still coming from the 3D version of you that says, I need to manifest this and do it the right way so it happens and my problems go away. Debating its existence to feel good about it. Yes, I know I was doing the robot there for some reason. Look at how unconscious focus on issues we have in the 3-dimensional version of reality that don't exist, instead of knowing, why would lottery matter to me so much if I was actually just God trying to fix this? Since I am God, I just go to my end and stay there because that is reality. Now understand. That is reality now. I am this version. That's it. And that is the key. Not to manifest to fix, but to manifest by being. Because you're always manifesting whatever you are being automatically. The unfolding is perfect according to who you are being. The lottery jackpot manifestation is like anything else. No conditions, no requirements, no preconditions, no circumstances around it. No need for error. It's simply done because it is. It's not up to me to live in the end of that experience, but your own free will to do so. From the knowing I am all possibilities. Imagine what it would be and feel like as your preference to experience winning said lottery and live in that end. In the assumption that it is reality and unfolding that end, you are living in an else. That timeline of experiencing, regardless of when, live knowing. Right now, I am the person who already won the lottery. I am that version of myself. Whatever numbers I chose were the numbers chosen by the lottery. I'm just experiencing it in a linear way. It makes no difference. This is my life unfolding. And anything I desire is mine. But I don't need a prerequisite or a condition to be fixed and filled by it. I'm choosing to live as it. I am your host, Reese. This is React Your Reality with Reese. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the questions as well. I do look forward to them. You can drop them in the comment section, or you can drop me an email anytime you like. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting that notification bell. Thank you for joining the Facebook page. Thank you for joining the TikTok page. And I will see you all in the next one.